I'm a middle school student walking into a classroom with open seating when I hear the teacher say, "All right, everyone take a seat." Now, how do I pick my seat? What do I need to think about in that 1 or 2 seconds before I actually go over to a chair and sit down? Obviously, it needs to be an open chair, but what other things should I think about? Maybe I'm hard of hearing or have poor sight, I should sit in the front. Maybe I look for a friend, someone who looks at me, nods, has an open seat next to them, and smiles. Those are pretty basic. If I didn't do my homework, where should I try to sit? Well, if you're like most middle schoolers, you're in the back. If I'm feeling a little goofy or silly today, I might want to try to sit in the back where I can kind of goof around and talk with my friends. At the same time, if I've been getting in trouble lately for talking to my friends, I might actually want to sit by one of the quiet kids who doesn't talk so much. I also need to think about an enemy. Is there someone in the class who I'm not getting along with? Maybe who I've had a hard time with? Maybe there's someone who's known for pulling tricks or little pranks. Maybe I should stay away from them. Maybe I could sit by a girl that I'm interested in. Or if I'm a girl, maybe I'm thinking about a boy that I might like to have some eye contact with. I also need to notice who usually sits by who. If there's a space open with a girl and I come over and sit down next to her when she's always saving that seat for someone else, I'm going to get a look from her that says, "I really don't know how to do it." The list could go on and on and on for how we pick where we sit. Something as simple as that. Now, some children can do that in 2 seconds, instantaneously, and they have the gracefulness and social fluidity to make the perfect choice every time. Those are the social butterflies of the world. Other kids struggle. They make the wrong choice. Someone gives them a look, calls them a loser. Those are kids who are socially awkward. That takes us to the third brain area, the mirror neuron system or the nonverbal system. Communication basically happens in 2 ways. There's things that are spoken to us, but it's how that we're spoken to, or what we notice or observe about others, that often contains the most important messages. Things like eye contact, facial gestures, hand gestures, closeness in space. All these little nuances are called nonverbal communication. And there's this great system in our brain, the mirror neuron system on the right hemisphere of our brain, that has long arms or axons that's wind through the brain and collect all the information around us and tell us how we should act. For some children, that right hemisphere is robustly developed, they've got lots of practice, and they do it really quick. They're the social butterflies. Other children, it's not quite as fully developed. You can also see a difference in boys and girls. So girls, the area of the brain where those arms transfer across those hemispheres, called the corpus callosum, that area in women is almost twice the size as men. Girls and women collect a whole lot more information, which they piece together to make a social decision. They also do it a lot faster since it's powered by estrogen. The more estrogen you have, the faster it goes. To quote Jeff Foxworthy's joke, he said, when it comes to social processing, women are an 8-lane superhighway, while men are a 2-lane country road. I don't know if he knew it or not, but he's actually right from a neurological perspective. So, you want to look at your child and help them understand, how do they do at observing things? When they walk in a room, can they scan things? Can they figure out who's trusting, who might not be trusting, who's open for friendships, who's not? That's an important skill to practice with your kids. For younger children, play Simon Says, but instead of doing simple movements, throw in a few emotions. Simon Says, look happy. Simon Says, look like you see your friend doesn't have any friends to play with on the playground. Practice facial expressions and help your children observe others' facial expressions. Get them to notice what's going on around them. Then, as they get older, practice them on how to scan a room. When they walk into a place, look around, see what you notice. Keep emphasizing the nonverbal components to communication to help your child grow and become more of that social butterfly. I also, in closing, like to give examples for students about people with great social processing. We mentioned earlier when we were talking about the president, we mentioned Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton is known, or President Clinton has been known to have incredible social processing. He can walk into a room, determine who he should talk to, make friends with just about anybody. Years ago, I also had the privilege of meeting Denver famous quarterback John Elway in a suite at the Broncos game. He was able to walk in that room, go around, meet 50 new people, know exactly who to talk to, who to greet, remembered our names. It was amazing, his social processing abilities. That's what you're trying to help your child develop. Finally, if you want to watch a great movie, check out The Princess Diaries. It's an incredible film about a young girl who doesn't understand those social subtleties and nuances or know how to read nonverbal, and with the help of her grandmother, Julie Andrews, she becomes a social person. Now, unfortunately, real life doesn't have music like Disney, but you can learn how this young lady learns to read others.